A very warm welcome to one and all present here. My name is Meghna Jagadeep. I am studying in class 11th A from Indian School Salalah. Today, I am going to speak on the topic how AI technology is helping us as a key education technology as EdTech during this pandemic and how we see AI as a part of future education. What is AI? AI is short for artificial intelligence. AI is the ability of a digital computer or computer controlled robot to perform tasks commonly associated with intelligent beings. Since the development of the digital computer in the 1940s, it has been demonstrated computers can be programmed to carry out very complex tasks. Alan Turing, a mathematician, proposed a test that measured a machine's ability to replicate human actions to a degree that was indistinguishable from human behavior. He asked the question, can machines think? Google Now, Siri, and Cortana are examples of intelligent services on various platforms like iOS, Android, and Windows. We can use these digital assistants to make calls, send messages, set reminders, take notes, recognize music, find restaurants, and whatnot. These are all examples of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is now a part of our lives, whether we know it or not, and whether we accept it or not. It has risen to such a status over the years in a slow but steady manner. Everything that we do, like buying clothes and shoes on the internet, as well as watching shows on TV, is influenced to various extents by AI. However, the question that needs to be asked in this context is what effect would this have on education? In the face of the ongoing pandemic, thousands of schools, teachers, and learners all over the world had to switch to remote teaching and learning almost overnight. While some of them could successfully continue education with the help of educational technologies and online learning, many still question the effectiveness and level of engagement of the latest. Although we all shifted to online learning and the use of digital materials, many teachers and learners were not prepared for this sudden switch. Distance learning does not always allow teachers to make adjustments and support students as they would do in the regular classrooms. As a result, students may find the digital learning materials either too simple or too complex, which could lead to disengagement and a reduction in learning outcomes. Adaptive intelligent learning technologies may help to overcome these problems, and here the AI comes to rescue. This type of technologies use algorithms to adapt digital learning material to students' need by monitoring students' performance, estimating their skills, tracking their progress, and predicting their development. This enables students to learn at their own pace and reduces the need for constant teacher supervision, feedback, or adjustments to the materials. I can explain how AI has taken all of our education methods and systems with a very simple example the Google Classroom. To be honest, until last year, I never knew an app like this existed. We never felt the need of this particularly. But now it has become so important to us that almost every schoolwork we do is connected to the Google Classroom. It helps us to share notes, speed up assignment process, gives a very precise feedback, scores can be checked and released in one single click, and we can even privately communicate with our teachers. What is ethic and how does it help us in our education? One of the most advanced fields in digital education technology is the personalization of learning. Personalization is, in some ways, the holy grail of education. Imagine an education system where students could do exactly the kind of task they need to make progress and overcome any learning difficulty they may have. In fact, that's what teachers try to do in their regular classrooms. But they have many constraints. That is, many students have different levels of knowledge, interests, and difficulties. I think that it is important to take a look at your own classroom and consider what are some of the tasks that are typically done? How are you and the students spending your class time? What are some ways that you could get some of that time back by using AI? Thinking about my own classroom, some of the most time consuming tasks were group activities, note making, and class assignments. AI can address each of these areas, increasing the time available to spend during more interactive lessons. Notes can be easily accessed with or without the help of our teachers, having more time to focus on what I actually need to work on and where I, as a student, should improve. This truly provided me with a world full of opportunities personalized to my needs in my fingertips. How is AI actually helping us in our education? Now you know that the underlying principle of all digital personalization systems is more or less the same. They first identify what students know and where they face difficulties. They make a more or less accurate diagnosis of what students should be doing next. Let's go more in detail about AI in education and how it helps us. The five major aspects where AI is helping us are communication, differentiation, personalization, exploration, and assessments. I'll now be explaining each one of them in brief. Let's start with communication. Students and teachers are able to communicate instantly with one another and solve their problems and clear their doubts through online chats or joining in a meeting and talk face to face in their own personal space. You might have also heard about Brainly. Brainly is a platform for students around the world to help each other with their homework. Any registered student can post a question to the platform, and other students will post answers in reply. Brainly incentivizes users to respond to questions through gamification and a point system. Next, differentiation. With the availability of AI, students and teachers are able to connect with resources they need exactly when they need them. Teachers are able to share a particular video or any reading content for a better understanding of the topic. These technologies to education are making learning interactive and thereby more engaging. They can even add gaming elements to textbook materials nowadays. Personalization. What better way to offer more personalized learning opportunities for students than to have an AI be able to analyze student responses, determine areas of need and interest, and find resources and create new opportunities to help students to greater understanding of the content. Exploration. This is an interesting topic. With the rise of augmented and virtual reality and the benefits of bringing these into the classroom for students to have more immersive learning experience and to see places and explore things that otherwise they would not be able to. AI can be a tremendous benefit for this. Have you heard about Curiscope's virtuality? It is a t-shirt and app that enables users to learn about the human body. One person puts on the t shirt, while the other uses an AR app on a smartphone to virtually reveal and explore the various layers inside the body. Isn't that interesting? Assessments. AI could help teachers to assess students and streamline the grading process, with the added benefit of being able to quickly take the data, provide an analysis for teachers so that time can be saved for more classroom interactions. Even though there has been concern expressed for what AI could mean for education, would AI lead to the replacement of teachers? Would the use of AI in the classroom have any negative impacts on students' learning? There could not be a replacement of teachers because AI cannot help students to build personal skills and learn from human interactions. Digitalization has started to impact the role of the teachers as well. On one hand, digital skills were becoming an integral requirement of the teacher's job. On the other hand, technology was hoped to solve some issues in the field, such as lack of professional teachers. Digitalization was already in the process of transforming education when the pandemic arrived. Then everything closed down, and now we're looking at a picture that is much the same as before, only a lot more dramatic. So, what can AI actually do for us in the future? AI can quickly interpret a student's need and design an appropriate assignment. It can show students mastery, repeat lessons as needed, and quickly design a personalized learning plan for each student. AI could provide teachers with a virtual teaching assistant, which then frees time for the teacher to move around the room and facilitate learning. But more than just teachers and students, it can be a way to support parents by involving them in the learning environment of students and providing them with the information they need to help their students be successful when they're not in the classroom. However, AI and digital systems built by human beings to augment our intelligence are not perfect, but they should and will improve over the next decade. As the coronavirus crisis reminded us, we human beings are not perfect either, individually and collectively. We are trying to improve and to learn. We should critically mobilize all the tools and wisdom of the past and of our time. That's what education is all about. Thank you.